When I was, I guess, about 5 or so, I thought I really wanted to be an architect. I liked blocks and building things, but I realized pretty quickly that I couldn't draw at all. And so I thought that's not going to be a good career. And then as I thought, I sort of thought about it a little more. And by around the time I was 8 or so, I thought, being a doctor would be pretty good. And then when I was 11, a really well-meaning teacher found out that I wanted to be a doctor. And so on a Saturday, he took me to visit the third-year medical students' gross human anatomy lab, which was they were basically using these circular saws to cut open dead bodies. And I remember I'm 11, and I still remember the smell of it and just seeing people cutting open dead human bodies. I was like, I'm not going to be a doctor. So the Franklin Williams Commission is really it's a wonderful commission. They are, I think, now more vital and important than they've ever been. And receiving the Breaking Barriers and Shattering Ceiling Award is obviously, very special. But I can't say I've really ever set out to shatter a ceiling or break a barrier. I've set out to try and do, good. First as a judge on the Court of Appeals and now as Chief Judge. So there's a sense in which I'm just trying to do my job. But when you sort of step back from yourself and you look at sort of the way somebody on the outside would look at it, then, I understand what the award is about and I understand why it's meaningful. But there aren't times when I sit and say, well, this must have looked different, at least to people on the outside. For example, when I was on the high school debate circuit at Harvard, one of my coaches, the assistant coach, told me that a judge who was the head of the program at a different school who had judged around that I was in, said, well, where that kid is really great, but, I just can't vote for what the word came next. So, there are things like that, and I tend to sort of think that's somebody else's problem, it's not my problem. What you end up hoping for is the people a generation after me will have an easier time, and the people a generation after that will have an easier time. And that at some point we get to the place that Dr. King hoped we would all get to, where it's the content of your character and how well you do your job that determines who you are.